Hi! Welcome to today's vlog.
In today's video, we're going to talk about our first 2 months of being parents.
And what it's really like becoming parents.
So, if you guys are expecting a baby or planning to have a baby, get ready.
Get ready for a ride. Yeah, it's a ride. It's really a journey. It's only been like 7 weeks, basically 2 months now. You know, we're gonna run through some things here with you, but we could talk for hours.
It's probably going to be a long video, so you should get yourself a cup of water or tea or beer or something.
Okay, so this video is not about advice for any new parents. We actually might post one with advice coming up soon, but for today we're just going to run through what it's been like for us becoming parents. So we're going to start off in the hospital and go through everything step by step, and then coming home and going through basically week by week.
Before we start, I want to say that having a baby is your and your partner's decision, but you also have to decide a lot of things and talk about a lot of things before you have baby, so that it's not that stressful trying to compromise when you already have a newborn crying next to you.
There's certainly an unlimited amount of things you could talk about, and sometimes it's just easier to talk about it when it happens, right? Like, we didn't feel like it was necessary to sit down before having Romy and say, okay, listen, how are we going to clean her belly button or something like that. So there's a million things. You could never actually be prepared. I just want you to know that. I was reading an article online the other day, and it's like all parents, usually the older parents, say the first few months, you know, the infant times, they fly by, so like cherish them. But what they don't tell you is what is coming your way. They don't tell you how enormous of a task it is, on top of, you know, the good times and the, you know, the happiness and the joy that being a parent brings you. So let's get into it.
Your baby will cry. First, because it's a stress for the baby to be birthed. Then, because if you're planning to breastfeed, your colostrum will probably not be enough for the baby. So, the baby will be constantly hungry.
Right, because at least from what I gathered, the colostrum is like your milk is going to come in soon. It sounds like the baby got way more calories in the womb than getting from the colostrum, right?
Well, yeah, because the baby is attached to you with the cord, and like the baby eats off you whatever you eat. The nurses will most likely offer you formula.
If you don't mind having formula supplement your baby's feeding, it's a good idea. We wanted to go all breast milk, but once we realized how stressful it is for the baby to actually get enough calories, because the colostrum just never seems to be enough, it would just be fussy.
We almost got into a fight in front of all the nurses.
She would just be super fussy, and yeah, it happens because the parents both get a lot of pressure on them, and neither of the parents want to see their baby crying and
the
upset,
baby cries, and it's
especially
heartbreaking.
it being the first couple days, it's even more intense. Not to mention that you just went through the most intense experience of your life with the birthing process. We just said, okay, maybe we should have her get like 10 milliliters or 20 milliliters of formula. And so she had some formula from the nurse. The nurse helped us with that. And it just, literally, she felt so much better because she felt full.
And it also helped her with gas.
Right.
Babies have a lot of gas after their birth. And if their stomach is empty, the gas isn't coming up. They need something to fill it first to let it out.
Yeah, so actually a lot of times what happened was she'd have some formula. We didn't give her a lot of formula, maybe 30 max over, you know, everything. Even up to now. A lot of times what would happen, she'd have like 5 milliliters of formula, and she'd not so long after throw it up.
Yeah, or just burp.
And it would help her. So yeah, that was a big stress. So when we got home, Romy still had a lot of gas and was fussy. Through the first week, it was, I'd say, a blur. A lot of that has to do with her nap schedule was kind of all over the place, and so therefore ours was too. Like even throughout the night when she would get up to help try to feed her, I felt like every time I would be getting up too to like make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, you also couldn't nap through a cry.
Yeah, and I couldn't sleep through her cries.
Also, hospital can give you these little bottles that you offer you in the hospital, and you can take a couple of them home. But I think they were only good for 6 hours, and we ended up not using them. Giving formula while you're waiting for breast milk, if you're planning to breastfeed only, is okay, I think. Even if it's just 10 milliliters, the baby is not gonna not wanna have your breast just because she had some off bottle. But when my milk came in, my boobs were engorged and they were super tight and they kind of had a fever. So anyways, it was hard for our baby to latch. And we got those silicone thingies, nipple covers they're called?
Nipple shields.
Nipple shields. And it worked for a couple days.
Yeah, so when we got the nipple shields, Romy was able to latch right away, and those helped her. We didn't know this, but we looked it up quickly after. The longer a baby uses a nipple shield, the harder it's going to be for the baby to shed that habit and actually latch. So when we went for our follow-up at the hospital, they told us this, and we just immediately stopped using the nipple shield. To help assist, her to try to latch, they give us a little tiny syringe that we could suck up milk after she self-expresses. That's exactly what we would do. She would self-express some milk, and then we'd put I think it held 3 milliliters, and then we'd use the syringe at the same time when she's latched to try to show her there's milk coming from there, so she should stay latched.
The next obstacle was her poopies. When she pooped up all her meconium, she didn't poop for 3 days.
Oh yeah. Which we were worried, but...
We were super worried. I was even freaking out.
I wasn't that worried. I knew it's just nature. It just takes a little while for her pipes to start working. Come on.
Well, one night she pooped so much meconium, it was just a lot. If you don't know, babies poop black stuff after they're born.
It's basically the stuff that's in them while they're in the womb, right?
Yeah.
It's like what they're producing from feeding from you, right?
Yes, unless the baby's stressed and poops right in the womb.
Which, thank God, that didn't happen. Literally, when we came home, it just seemed like maybe she pooped once, but she didn't poop for 3 or 4 days. Yeah, hello, we're talking about you. My theory is that she kind of cleared out all the meconium, and everything she was getting from your newly developed breast milk, she was using right away. And so she didn't have much waste. That was my theory.
Sense.
Yeah. Another big stressor for us in the first month, actually the first week, was Romy's weight loss. She was born at 8 pounds 10 ounces. Within the first week, she lost basically a pound. And so they tell you the threshold that you should start worrying at is 10%. So 10% of 8 pounds 10 ounces is, what, 8 ounces, is it?
I have no idea. I don't know about ounces and pounds.
Anyway, she went over 10% weight loss, and we went to one pediatrician who was kind of freaking us out because they were having us come back every 2 days for the first week. And
totally unnecessary.
Yeah, and on top of that, they said she should gain an ounce a day, and we came back 5 days later, and she gained almost 2 ounces a day, and they were still telling us that they were worried. So I decided to call up my old pediatrician that I went to for, I don't know, until I was 18, and we went there, and he was awesome. He said, don't worry, she's healthy, she's great, she's gaining a lot of weight. It's totally natural for babies to lose a lot of weight in the first week. But it's something that you should definitely pay very close attention to. Don't go too crazy over it. It's gonna happen, most likely. Makes sense, right? She's getting rid of all the meconium. And
all the water comes up.
Yeah.
Too, because they are born very puffy.
She was very puffy when she was born.
Clogged tear ducts.
Clogged tear ducts. Were those a real issue for her?
No, but it
Just
was freaking
sometimes
us out that she had
something in her eye, right?
green poopies in her eye.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes she had green poopies in her eye.
And that's okay, because if you didn't know, babies cry for the first couple weeks with no tears, and during those weeks their tear ducts develop.
Yeah, it wasn't actually poopies, it was more like gunk, like just stuff.
Yeah, green stuff.
Oh, we're talking about you. Mwah. Mwah. Hello.
Hi, Mommy.
Welcome to the channel.
Subscribe.
Hello,
and like
if
our
you're new out
video.
there. We disagreed about burping in the hospital. And I brought a nurse into our argument to
You
try to
did,
make a
that was
point.
messed up.
I brought the nurse in and I said, is burping hurting the baby? Anyway, we'll skip the part of the argument.
We're gonna talk about it in a different video.
Yeah, probably.
You wanna demonstrate those?
We're gonna do some burping technique demonstrations. This, like we said, this isn't really for advice, but more for, we want to document how we burped her.
Yeah, she was just eating, so she probably needs to be burped anyways.
So, come here, little baby. So, over the shoulder. She's big now. She was so small in the hospital. And, you know, just secure her. You could burp her with this hand, or I would usually go like this.
Yeah,
Right between the shoulders.
not lower.
You want to move up and down, kind of warm that air up inside her. Go, you know, clockwise, counterclockwise. Hit her a few more times. Not hit, tap her. And then, you know, you might switch shoulders. Sometimes the movement from one shoulder to the other actually helps her burp. And then another position, which was one of my favorites, is you turn her around. You kind of like hold her under her chest and make sure you support her neck a little bit. And you can put her legs kind of cradled around your arm. Now you got her like this, okay?
But now she's too big for this position.
No, I can still do it. I'm going to not be able to do it soon. And then you do the exact same motion on her back. You tap her here in the middle of her shoulders, and you'd hear a big burp. Let's see if we can get one out of her. And if that doesn't work, sometimes I would literally just put her over my knee. The weight of herself on her belly sometimes helped, and I would do this. What else? Oh, a really good one.
Yeah.
Was, I like to call it the motorcycle, but it's not like a motorcycle. It's kind of like, you hold her like this, and it helps kind of crunch up that air in her stomach. And you just kind of walk around with her. Beware, because sometimes this will cause her to throw up.
Which is okay. You
Which is
should
good.
always have a burp glass next to you.
Yeah, throwing up with the newborn, it's not a bad thing. Most likely it's good. They all do it.
Oh, she just burped. I heard her. Oh,
There it goes
another
again.
one.
All right, let's finish that before she throws up.
So those
Right.
were his
That was my
legendary burping techniques.
I am the burp machine.
He's the best.
Those were my,
Bless you.
so that was my official burping demonstration. Oh,
Yeah.
that was good, wasn't it? Thank you.
Another thing we wanted to talk about is swaddling. We both agree that we don't want to swaddle her. Maybe just at night sometimes, or if she's extra fussy.
Yeah, when she has a meltdown, we'll swaddle her.
Yeah. And because some babies like to be swaddled, some don't, so you just have to go with your baby's choice.
Yeah, and it really is a choice because they will tell you if they don't like it or not. Diaper change time. When she has meltdowns, we still swaddle her even though she won't like it because it helps put her to sleep. Or it helps calm her down and put her to sleep. Like, she'll kind of get into one of those moods if she's overtired and she's like, should have went down for a nap a while ago. Yeah. You're saying don't tell them that.
So the last topic of this video that we want to discuss for you and for us, for ourselves to remember, is sleeping in a bassinet.
First of all, before we say it, I'm going to say some people are probably going to be judgmental or even sensitive to this topic because the phenomenon going around called SIDS, and people are super sensitive about it, and they should be. We just don't think it's right to try to force parents.
Yeah, so we agreed that we didn't want her sleeping in the bassinet, and
At least not in the first, few weeks.
or couple months.
Yeah.
Even. She's almost 2 months old right now. Joe did a very smart thing. He put this burp cloth underneath her, so that when I feed her, I could pull her next to my boobie and she could eat, and after she's done, I just put her back up and she sleeps kind of between our heads, so that we don't roll over her, but at the same time we hear how she breathes.
How she breathes.
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 Yeah, that's how we sleep still, but we are planning on taking a sleeping class for babies because we don't want to sleep with her forever. We're also husband and wife.
So yeah, we're gonna take a class because we both want to learn as she gets older how her sleep schedule is gonna change, how we should deal with it as parents. We're gonna be setting up like a camera so when we put her down for naps in her bassinet, and when we get her crib all set up, we're gonna be legit and we're gonna know exactly how to handle everything. One of the other really big things is division of labor. When I say that, I mean like you have to figure out who's gonna do what, because obviously she has the natural job of mama and is feeding and doing as much as she can to comfort her as well as I, but you just need to figure that out for yourselves at home.
Get ready to change a lot of diapers every day.
Another part of our 2-month update I wanted to say, every day we change like on average 18 diapers.
So this is how our baby looks right now.
Yeah, does she look like both of us combined? She looks so... We call her Munchkin. We call her Munchy Munch. She has grown from 21 inches to now 23¼ inches, which is awesome. That puts her in the 95th percentile for her height right now at her age, which is really cool too. She's a tall girl. She gained from 8 pounds 10 ounces at birth, went down to as low as 7 pounds 9 ounces 4 days after birth, and is now at 11 pounds 8 ounces, which I'm sure that was actually like 4 days ago, so I'm sure she's probably almost 12 pounds now. Her weight, when we went to the doctors the other day, put her in the 75th percentile, which is pretty good. It's not bad.
She's a tall girl. Doctor said she's not fat. She's just a big person.
Yeah, I think that's it for our 2-month update and what it's really like to become parents. Anybody out there, we're looking to change our channel name. We started out Janelle and Joseph. We changed it to Russian American Family.
Yeah.
And it's not really sticking for us. Like,
I don't like it.
Who out there?
I liked it as an idea, but then when we did it,
it wasn't as good.
It doesn't fit us.
Yeah. So Janelle and Joseph was cool, but it's not just us anymore. Like, Janelle came up with an interesting channel name. Want to tell them?
You say.
Joe Ja Ro. So it's
well,
just...
you're saying it with Chinese accent. That's why it sounds Chinese for you.
I didn't even tell them yet.
American people don't say ja.
That's true. Alright, just because I know how to speak a little bit of Chinese, I pronounced it wrong. You pronounce it.
I don't even know. I just
Joe
like how it's spelled.
Ja Ro.
Joe J Ro.
No, there's no Y. So
Joe
J-O. Let me spell it out. J-O-J-A. J-O-J-A-R-O. Joe Ja.
You're saying it with Chinese accent again. Joe Ja.
It's not Ja. It's Ja.
Janelle. Ja.
Janelle.
Joe Ja Ro.
Janelle. Joe Ja Ro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we we don't like that. She came up with it. At first, I was like, "Whoa, that's really interesting." And then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, Joe Ja Ro. That reminds me of Rojamo, which is in Chinese. That's like kind of like a sandwich, like a meat pie kind of thing. I called it a Chinese burger. Yeah, I want a Chinese burger. Uh-oh.
If you're wondering why our channel is named right now Russian American Family, but we're talking about Chinese, it's because we met in China and we both studied in China and we both speak Chinese. So that's why.
Yeah, and she is Russian, but from Kazakhstan. If that makes sense.
I'm not Russian, I'm Kazakh. But
Okay.
I speak Russian is my first language.
Right. Her first language is Russian. That's why we call it Russian American Family. But yeah, anybody who has ideas out there, drop them below. We really would love it. We'd love to see what you guys think.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, bye.